Welcome, Geeklings, to the second episode. That is right, the second episode of the Geek Guild podcast. This is Titan, your host, and I'm here with
Trist,
Doc Fluffy,
Stitch, whole crew.
The whole crew. I mean, this is an exciting moment for us.
Yeah.
Last time it was just you and me.
Yep.
Me and Trist.
Yep.
And now we decided to drag everyone else into this.
Yay!
So now that they're here, now that Doc Fluff and Stitch are here, I wanted to let them take this time to introduce themselves, why they wanted to do this with us, like what really brought them to geekiness. So we'll start with Doc Fluff.
Well, just wanted to tell everybody, my full name is Dr. Bear Fluffy.
Dr. Bear Fluffy.
And it's very important that you know this, because Doc Fluffy isn't just from anywhere, it's Dr. Bear Fluffy. Just FYI. But, yeah, I watched YouTube since it started.
Since you started dating me, really.
Yeah.
It's like when you got hardcore into it.
Well, hardcore into it. But I've always, really liked YouTube, and I've always wanted to contribute something to it, but what it is, I never could grasp exactly what I wanted to do, and then we just kind of all came together, and we all realized that we liked
to do
it,
this.
So we did it, and we're all interested in the same stuff, so it just kind of clicked pretty easily. Yeah.
Stitch, what brought you to geekiness?
She was like a third wheel brought into it.
I mean,
She was dragged.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me start off with this. At first, I remember you were vlogging a little bit. Trist was vlogging a little bit. And I remember you were telling me she didn't even want to be in the frame. Like, she didn't want to be in the shot or anything like that. And you really, blossomed into, doing this. You're like, I want to do this video, I want to do this video.
Pretty flower.
And you've blossomed into a pretty butterfly.
I'm a pretty butterfly.
I mean, really, you have. And I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I was drug into it a little bit, but I didn't want to be left out either. And
It kind of sucks to sit on the couch alone after a while.
it does. It does. Like, videos are going on and you hear laughing in the other room and you're like, aw.
I want to be in on that fun.
I want to be in on it. So, since I'm really into all the nerdiness also, I figured, why not?
The Skylanders, you mean?
Yeah.
She's all about them Skylanders.
It's
completely covers a table full of Skylanders.
a coffee table.
What's really interesting, though, is that you have two sets of couples
Mm,
that have their own interesting geekiness.
truth.
Me and Stitch are a little bit different than you and Doc Fluff, but it all, merges well together.
Very well. We all bring.
different than
It's like the
everybody.
Triforce almost. you
Yeah,
know?
Except there's four.
It's like the Quad Force.
So it's like the
Quad force.
square.
It's like a square. It's a square.
It would be the cube, guys.
The cube. Sorry, watch
Get
out.
it right.
But I mean, it really is. It's a great thing. We all have something else to contribute to this, and I think it's awesome that we all started doing this. I mean, at first it was kind of just me and Trist, and then Doc Fluff came along, and then Stitch came along, and it's amazing. I love what it's become so far.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
it's a
And
lot of fun.
we're not even that far into it.
No, I mean, really, we're
in
not. I think the last time I checked was, 58 subscribers?
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, but we have an update. We have finally sat down, and we really needed to do this. We finally sat down and made our schedule for geekiness.
Woohoo!
We have set to where we will try, hopefully, what'd you say?
If the creek don't rise.
If the creek don't rise. That's Texas for you. That we will try to release a podcast every Thursday.
Yep.
I mean, that's really what we're striving for.
Recording on Tuesdays, releasing on Thursdays.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what we're striving for. And then everything else in between, from gameplays to streams to reviews to everything in between.
Yep. Anything we come across that we think that you guys might be interested in, we're definitely going into it.
Yes.
Or things we're interested in and
Think you might
just
be.
want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's just...
And maybe you'll learn something new.
I mean, I think that's
Yeah.
why I like doing this so much. It's like I can show people why I love this. You know, it's like it's something. Like I said last time, I didn't even know about this kind of stuff until I met you guys, and it's a whole new world.
Somebody get the carpet out.
It's a crazy new experience, and I would love to share this experience with somebody that maybe I would never even meet.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, you know, I can change someone's lives possibly for the better. You know,
And geekiness is such a broad term.
It really
That's why
is.
I like it, because it's not, just video games or just board games.
It's everything.
Stitch loves to stitch, like she's a nerdy stitcher and sews quilts and
Crochets
cool stuff
and
and hats and
zombies.
and I like the cheesy Korean dramas
And mangas.
and anime and
Trist is all about the WoW.
she,
All
I'm
about
all
the
about
WoW.
I'm all about the everything.
It's okay. I'm right behind you on the WoW.
I know.
so we all kind of contribute just something different within the same spectrum.
And so, hopefully, our next video will maybe be hopefully a Marvel Dice Masters. That's what we had decided on.
That's what we had decided on because it's something that we've like really
took a
enjoyed.
shine to.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly. And I want to take this time to give a shout out to Board Game Bliss. It is, from what we understand, it is one guy in Canada, right?
Yeah, it's like a mom and pop type game store that offers amazing games.
I mean, and he has great prices. I mean, I don't really know. I'll go for
Yeah.
he now.
Yes.
He has such great prices. We found 2 gravity feeds for $60. I mean, really.
Because you find it on Amazon.
It's like $90, $120
Yep.
for 60 packs of boosters for Marvel Dice Masters.
$20.
I mean, but really, it ranges, you know?
Yeah.
And we were so fortunate to find it. I mean, the next day it was sold out. So I just wanted to take this time to thank whoever you are out there behind the Board Game Bliss computer. Thank you for supplying those to us.
And he really, I actually talked to him. He was super nice, but so they have the boosters, the 6 for 10, or you can get 6. So he let us, because they were bought after I had bought the gravity feed.
Yeah.
Then we were going to buy another one, and they had sold out by then. But he actually let us buy 6 of the boosters for the price of a gravity feed and just send us another gravity feed.
Yeah,
So
just a whole nother set.
very, 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 very awesome guy. Good company. Has really good reviews on Facebook. But yes, we'll leave it down in the description below. You guys should definitely check him out. I think it's boardgamebliss.com if you're listening on your phone.
So I want to take this. This is the topic time, guys.
All right.
This is something that Doc Fluff and Stitch have really been wanting to get into. We wanted to talk about, in this episode, book to movie crossovers and comic book to TV/movie crossovers. So let's start with the whole book to movie crossovers. And you wanted to start with what?
There's so many. Like, they're either, I feel like, either epic fails or just awesome wins.
So let's start with the awesome wins. What would you say would be an awesome win? I mean,
Harry Potter.
I haven't read all of Harry Potter, and I know pretty much everyone else in this room has. Have you?
Everyone
Have you,
kind of
Trist?
hates you for it. No. What?
I have read the first 4.
3.5-ish.
3.5.
I've read the first 4 chapters of the first book. So I mean, we're all in the same boat. It's okay.
We might have to rethink our relationship.
Whatever. You're dumb. But like I said, I've seen. So from a person who hasn't really read the books and I've seen the movies, I thought the movies were absolutely amazing. I thought everything about them was great. And but from people who have read the book, so Doc Fluff and Stitch, what was your were there some moments in it where you were like, that's kind of wrong, I wish they would have done this?
My biggest pet peeve, I know it's so cosmetic, but in the book, Harry's eyes are green. And they always talk about how his pretty green eyes remind them of his mother.
His mom.
And in the movie, of course, he has blue eyes. I know it's so, trivial, but they do mention it once or twice. You look just like Lily. And stuff like that. But, I don't know, that was my biggest kind of...
My question to you would be then, Daniel Radcliffe, would you ever want somebody else to play
No.
Harry?
No,
I do.
He was so
I know who
Harry.
I want.
Oh, God, I don't want to know.
I want Morgan Freeman. Just picture it. Imagine it, guys. Wrap your brains around that
Oh,
beautiful
God.
image.
Can you imagine him, pronouncing, the spells? Expecto Patronum.
It would be amazing. I would feel it outside of the movie. Oh God, it would be awesome.
But my whole thing is I get it. Maybe they could put context in them, but I can never imagine anybody playing Harry.
For me, it's
Yeah.
not even a...
Yeah, I mean that's
That's
true.
why I'm willing to forgive.
I mean, it's like
Forget.
in relation for me. It's like I understand. It's like Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark with Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. I mean, he really is. It's
They embody the character and
honestly,
everything about it.
and I wanted to say what was his name? Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds. Perfect. I mean, they are just all around. Ryan Reynolds could be Deadpool.
Star-Lord and Chris Pratt.
We'll get to that later. We'll get to that a little later.
Okay, save it for later.
So,
but I think Harry Potter was fabulous. Like, everything about it. The storytelling was great. Of course, they had to change some stuff here and there because it's a movie, but, like, it just soaks you into this whole other world, and it's so good that they built a theme park off of it. It's amazing.
So, Stitch, if you could change one thing about it, what would you change? Like, if you wanted one thing from the book to be in it, what would you put into the movie? Like, because I know you wanted the green eyes.
Yeah, I know that's such a,
I understand, but I really do understand. I mean, it makes sense. Like, something like that, when they emphasize it that much in the book, you want to see that in the movie. So what would you want to have changed?
I know that the one thing I do love about the Harry Potter thing is that they really stayed true to the books and the stories, where other movies have completely jumped ship. So I feel like they did an extremely good job, but they had to cut some things out. And so maybe they weren't the most important things, although in reading the books, like, it makes everything mesh. I know I had to explain some discrepancies to you at Trist.
She's
at
pointing
some point
to me.
We don't have a camera.
Sorry. I had to explain a few different things because you haven't completed reading the entire series. So I know some things were a little confusing. My parents don't read it. So I know I've had to do some of that. But one of the things I always wanted to see done in the movie was Nearly Headless Nick's party that he had.
And I remember.
Didn't they play instruments that sounded like they were playing saws or something? Like, it was ridiculous. And he invited Harry. But, like...
What book was that from?
It was one of the later ones.
Yeah, maybe in the middle. I can't remember right off the top of my head, and I know some people out there are going to be screaming at us. But I just because it was, like, tucked into a corner of a wall where, like, the dead people met and whatever. So the ghosts and stuff. So I don't know. I think that would have been really cool to have seen. But they did excellent job of Quidditch.
Yeah.
They really did.
I wish it was a real sport.
Austin has a Quidditch league.
Yes.
I'm going to join it one day.
I did see that.
I'm going to play one game. I want to run around with a broomstick between my legs. I'm going to throw something. I don't know how to play, but I'm going to learn.
Quaffles and bludgers.
I don't know. So, one thing, and I haven't read the books, but my mom is a huge Harry Potter fan. I mean, she'll read all of the books in like a week. I mean, it's crazy. I'm sure anyone here sitting at this table could probably do it, except for me. I'm a very slow reader. I take my time.
You can't focus. Yeah. Your attention is everywhere.
I'm like, World of Warcraft needs to be played. But she always said that in one of the scenes, I think it was in one of the later movies, Voldemort and Dumbledore fight, and she's saying where they had like giant fire lions and snakes fighting, and they didn't have that in the book. It was just kind of like the
it was kind of
that's what I like
more
though.
Like goo. It looked like goo.
I mean, that was in the movie. The goo.
In the movie.
I wanted to see it. When she told me that, I was like, I wanted to see the giant fire lion try to rip someone's head off or something like that.
Was that when they were in the Ministry of Magic?
Yeah.
Yeah. The showdown.
So I thought that would have been a really cool part.
Oh, the one part that killed me was the final movie when Harry and Voldemort face off, and the way that things happen with the one twin being killed. Like, just that whole end scene, like, they don't fall off a cliff with each other, and they don't, like, they totally took liberties there to make it really more exciting. And that, of everything in the whole entire 8 movies, that bugs me.
Really?
But really, there's things I wish they'd put in, but it doesn't bother me.
But it's kind of like,
bugs me.
They should have done with like Lord of the Rings, where they just would have like a director's cut and just had all that. What if they did that?
Oh my gosh!
I would watch
all
of it.
Could you
I'd pay
imagine?
double what we paid for the other Blu-ray set. Like, I would pay double for sure.
I mean, even if the same characters didn't do it, but
it'd have to.
It would have to be. But my whole thing is like, the James Potter series has gone has taken where Harry has left off. Like, it makes me sad that nobody else, like, no kids will ever experience Harry Potter
waiting
like we
for it
did.
to come out.
You know what I mean?
They'll never experience the movies coming out for the first time. And
I mean, I wish I was born with like Star Wars. I love Star Wars, but I'm not like a huge Star Wars nerd. Like, I wish I would have had that excitement of going to the movies for the first time and seeing Star Wars.
My parents' first date was the first Star Wars movie.
How cool would that have been,
like,
man?
Yeah.
Honestly.
So, it's things like that. Like,
yeah.
I know exactly where I was the day my family and I went to see the first Harry Potter movie.
Yeah.
So it's things like that that I don't know, it's one of those epic things.
Yeah.
Can I just say one more thing about Harry Potter?
What?
Okay, I thought
I
think
I know what it is.
Hour-long
than
Harry
the
Potter
green
talk.
than the green eyes.
I think I know what it is.
It was Ginny.
Yep, I knew it.
Yeah.
She's
was
complained
so
about this so much
better in the book. Like she was fierce and she was like had spark. And in the book, whoever played her, I can't think of her name.
Movie.
Or in the movie, whoever played her, she was a zombie.
She was like shy. Almost.
She was a zombie and shy.
I liked her, but I do, I agree
and
with...
like Harry and her would just click, whereas like in the movie, it felt like they were just shoved together. That's all I had to say.
So you had to get that out.
I had to get it out. It was bursting.
So I want to go to one that I think me and Trist will know a little bit more about. I want to go to Percy Jackson.
Oh God.
Yeah,
oh my
that's
God.
all
You guys know more about.
I've read a lot of Percy Jackson.
I've read every single book and then the second series after that.
Okay, well maybe not.
Boom.
But okay, so the first. Oh, have you seen the first two movies?
Yep.
And you've read the books.
Yep.
Have you read the books?
I read
Doc
the entire.
Fluff?
I have not
Percy
read the
Jackson.
books, so I can be that perspective.
Okay, so the books were. I mean, they were awesome. It's like everything you loved about Greek gods modernized in a way.
Oh my God! It was just epic. It was just so from left field and done right.
Perfect. I mean, it was perfect.
Yeah.
And
a
then,
lot of research. Actually, I was talking to another person at work today about it, weirdly enough.
Really?
And we felt like, seriously, we felt like the research was really, really well done. Like, you can't write a story like that.
No, I mean...
Off the top of your head.
Yeah.
Honestly, really. But... I really love the books. I mean, I was, I think, in freshman year, 8th grade, somewhere around there when they first came out, and I immediately went out and bought them all. And I read them, and they were just so good. I mean,
it was
awesome.
one of those Harry Potter, have to sit down, read them all. And
that was like Harry Potter
reads.
for me. Like, that really was. That was like Harry Potter for me. And they were so good. I loved them. I mean, I went back and read them a couple times. So, now let's start the movie hater.
Can I play the one card that Doc Fluff did for Harry Potter?
Go ahead.
With Annabeth and her hair.
Yes.
Oh my God! Harry Potter didn't bug me, and I think because they did so many other things right, but because they screwed up the rest of the movie, like every chapter, it's her blonde hair, and they made her brunette.
Yeah, it really killed me. And I want to bring up a topic that's going to be a little weird, and I know I'm going to try to be go into this as easy as possible. But Grover. And I know a lot of people are hesitant to talk about this, but I want to talk about this.
I'll talk about it.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
Whenever you were reading the book, was Grover African American?
No, and in the descriptions, he was not.
He was not.
He was not.
And I know a lot of people have given a lot of hate for this.
I'm not going to get too much into it. I don't remember them saying one way or the other, but that's just me personally.
Exactly, exactly.
For it, so.
My thing, and it wasn't even, maybe it was more the actor.
Yeah, I mean, he was a good actor. I think he made a good Grover.
He made a good Grover. He was very quick,
he was funny,
with the charm,
quick-witted. Yeah,
but he wasn't what I expected.
I expected kind of Grover to have glasses and kind of hunkered down. You know, I didn't expect him to be
afraid.
Yeah, shy and timid. Yeah. I expected him but he was up and ready to go and let's do this. I'll help you.
Nimble.
And, yeah, he was very quick-witted.
Yep.
And I wish they would have made him who would I would have wanted him to play him? The guy who played I don't know. The guy who played the zombie in Warm Bodies. R.
Oh yeah.
I would have loved for him. He's a perfect shy person.
Yeah.
Either that or the guy who played Mark Zuckerberg, the guy who played in Rio. As Blue.
Andy Samberg?
No,
it's the one that looks just like him.
Has the fro. I don't know. But I would have liked to see him. They're shy, they're shy people.
Right.
I don't know who played Grover, but he's a very I've seen him in other movies, and he's very
I think he's in Disney or
yeah, he's a lot of
circuit.
Disney. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen him before, but
but he's very out there.
Yeah.
And that really bugged
and it wasn't even necessarily a race thing. It was that he was not portrayed
like the book.
Like the book.
Exactly.
And it's like an aura thing. I mean, I think with yours, I feel with what Stitch was saying is I think she embodied the character, but the aesthetics were wrong. Yeah. Where I feel Grover, the aesthetics weren't as important as he didn't embody the character that was in the book.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think that's true. I mean, I don't know. I wish Anybody could have played him, to be really honest. I just wanted him to be shy. I wanted him to be timid. I wanted him to grow into himself, like become that hero later on.
Like Percy did.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Percy did.
He's just he doesn't know what's going on. It's all of a sudden, Grover had to protect Percy, and it's just like, how is he going to do that? He doesn't know how to do any of that.
My thing is, like, the first movie did okay.
I didn't like it.
As someone coming from not reading the books, even just as a movie, it was pretty lackluster. It was very forgettable, kind of teen movie that they just kind of shot out there to hope that it got some kind of good review.
And I don't know if Sea of Monsters really did any better.
It missed the mark.
It was so bad. It was worse than the first one.
I didn't watch all of Sea of Monsters.
So the end part where they're supposed to be on the island, right? Cersei's Island, whatever. They're at the amusement park. There is a scene in the book in the amusement park, but the whole final battle
was in the amusement park.
The amusement park.
So when we're done with this topic, I have a very good one that I will want to see as a movie, like, now.
Okay, so I think we'll conclude this topic. I want to hear this.
I love Artemis Fowl books. Like, absolutely.
I haven't read them.
I've read one, and it was really, really
obsessed with Artemis Fowl.
Yeah.
I've
read them all. That they are excellent.
The blue cubes on the front page.
Yeah, that's all I remember.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
It was really good.
The Arctic incident second.
Oh, that's right.
I've never. Can you kind of like sum it up?
So basically, Artemis is like this brainy, smart, brilliant prodigy that comes from a wealthy family, and instead of using that mind for good, he uses it to get money from people. He even like consorts with mafia people.
So he's like playing the cards that he
dealt. Is brilliant, and it comes from such a perspective and. The books describe it so well. You hate him.
And he's the main character.
He's the main character, but you learn to care. He gets hurt, and you're like, "Oh my god, something better not happen to him."
And of course there's magic and fairies,
trolls.
See, that's what I want. That's why I didn't think of that. You kind of set like a New York setting for me. Like I was like, oh, it's like in New York, and he's like playing blackjack.
It's like half and half.
No,
he's in Europe somewhere.
So, but there's like trolls and fairies, and
there's an underworld.
Wow.
Like a completely different fairyland. I mean, it's fairies, which aren't in Harry Potter and stuff, but like magic is totally of the land, not something like
that comes out of you.
Yes. And they live underground.
Very different perspective.
It is amazing, but I think that would be a perfect movie.
If done well.
If done correctly.
Who would you want to play Artemis? Is that his name? Artemis?
Yes. The kid from Ender's Game.
Dude.
Oh, he was good.
Oh my god, I love that movie. I have never read.
We did not put that on the list, but the book.
Whoa, dude.
The book is a little different. But they actually do it pretty well justice.
Yeah.
Actually, like
dude, I've watched that movie like 3 times in one weekend. I've always wanted to put myself in that situation where I control everything. I'm flying a ship. I'm telling crew what to do and like that. I think that's awesome, and he's such a young kid, and you can relate to him almost in a way,
They really could have screwed up the ending, and they did a good job.
I thought it was awesome. I never read the books. I really want to. I know y'all have it.
I have not read the books.
I haven't seen either.
We're gonna watch Ender Games because it's really.
I really do want to watch it though, because I just hear all kinds of good stuff about it from you.
So we're gonna talk about one more book to movie crossover, and we haven't seen this yet, but I want to talk about The Giver.
It was my favorite book growing up.
I read it in 4 hours.
Yeah, you read it.
I reread it in 4 hours.
We were driving back from South Padre, and we went to a bookstore there, and I was driving, and she was just reading it the whole time, and it was just... I was like, really? I had to drive, and she was enjoying herself reading it.
Did you read it in school? Because we read it in middle school.
Yeah, I read it in school.
I read it in 7th grade, yeah.
Okay.
So I've never seen the movie. We haven't heard very good reviews. At all.
No.
Really?
The commercials on TV alone just
summed up the story.
But
they twisted it.
I thought they just did way too much with the commercials. Like, I know probably most of the people going to see it have read the book. But
yeah, I mean,
even then, you should leave a little mystery.
But I feel like The Giver would be such a hard movie to nail. Like. It's a book where you have to sit there and think about what's going on in the world, and it's like motorcycle driving by, and it's like when they're talking about the black and white and
all
that stuff. It
reminds me of like a Pleasantville type feel.
I don't know. That.
It's a good movie. You should see
It's
it.
half black and white, half color.
I feel like that's when I was reading that book, I was thinking about it the whole time. What's going on? Like, what does this mean? Like, what could and then to portray it on a big screen, it's like it's showing everything for me, and that ruins the whole book. It's like the book to me was something that I had to think about. It was a mystery, something I had to learn and
trying to write about seeing color for the first time. Can you imagine that?
I could not imagine that.
How does one think?
But
on describing color to someone who doesn't.
But I assume in the movie it's like it happens. Oh, color done.
You see it, but when you're reading it, and he's like, I remember
describing the emotions.
he's describing. He's like, it somehow changed in midair, and then as it goes along, he notices the red in the flowers. Yeah, it was an apple he was throwing, and then it was like the red in the flowers, and it was the red in Fiona's hair.
I need to read it again.
And then you finally
I'll
start to click. Oh my god, it's in black and white. And the realization is just mind-blowing that everyone sees in black and white and that he's seeing color. When you put that to visual, it's a whole lot less amazing of an impact.
Well, I don't think I got from the book that oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. Dang it.
Okay.
I don't feel like I knew why their world was that way. Whereas in the commercials, I think it's explained.
Yeah.
And I didn't like. I feel like I
ruined.
remember it being explained, where in the book I didn't think it was. So.
And movies can be ruined by commercials. I mean, they can show way too many commercials and just
all the funny parts of the comedies, and then nothing else is funny.
But it's even worse when it's something dramatic.
And it's something you remember so fondly of your younger years. You know, it's like you read that and you loved that book. I have never met a person who didn't like that book. I mean, can everybody say that they love that book?
My parents and my sister never read it, but we listened to it for book on tape years ago, and they felt it was interesting that way. And I think it might have actually been a cassette, if that tells you. Yeah, before 2000. So they thought it was a little creepy listening to it that way, but they enjoyed it. They liked it.
Okay, one more book to movie. I've been getting poked in the side. I want to do this one. So, Golden Compass. I haven't seen. Is the Golden Compass right? That's the one you want to talk about? Okay.
I've never read, never seen.
Never seen. So
it's been quite a while since I read it.
Did you see it?
But I did see it. I feel like it had such great potential, and I really, really, really wanted to like it, and I did like it more than, say, Percy Jackson or something like that, where it's just complete and utter fail. It was still good. I still wanted to see more. I wanted to see them save the series.
All I remember is a giant polar bear.
Yeah,
fighting polar bear.
Yeah, I mean, and that was extremely cool. But and I liked how they showed their I can't remember what they called them in the books, but it was it looks like daemon in the book, but they refer to them as demons. It's like the other half of their soul is carried on the outside as an animal of the opposite sex.
So that's the animal.
Those are the animals that follow him around. Okay. Now, not the big polar bear. He's an actual
polar bear.
Fighting, talking polar bear. But
that's awesome.
The part that ruined it all for me was the very end, because the whole time I was looking for the final scene in the book when her dad blows open the line between the two worlds, and they didn't even show the scene. Yeah. Not even a mention of it. They chopped it off, cut out the last chapter or two of the book, and we're like, oh, movie's done.
Do you think it's because they were expecting to do a follow-up?
Well, there is Subtle Knife, and there's another one after that.
Amber Spyglass.
Amber Spyglass.
Either that, or do you think at the time that it was made, they didn't have the technology to do what they wanted to do?
Did you see the first movie?
It wasn't that long ago, though.
No,
they really could have done it.
Wasn't
it like 2007?
It was very visually impactful. Like, you could tell.
They did Quidditch back in 2000. Like, they could have done something, but
I don't know.
It's like they chopped off their legs.
I want to see what Quidditch looks like now with this type of CG and stuff like that.
It was super duper disappointing.
It's like the build up, everything that you've been waiting for, and then absolutely
I think it
nothing.
flopped so bad. There's not even a mention of doing Subtle Knife.
Oh no,
Which
they're not
done
even
right,
gonna try.
They could do it so well.
It had such great potential, and it's very sad to see it turn out the way it did.
Yeah. All right, so we're moving on from books to movies to my favorite, comics to TV series / movies. Do you want to start this one off, Trist? Do you want to go with one?
I'm gonna go with Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead.
The biggest, baddest.
All right. Oh yeah. Okay.
Talked about one right
do
now.
not say anything about season 3. No spoilers about season 3. I haven't seen any of
Because
it.
some people.
I'm waiting for it to come out on Netflix. I'm watching it all the way through. Okay. Do not say anything about season 3.
That's the most recent, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, but that just limits everything.
Just don't say anything about season 3. Okay.
Okay.
This is the comic to movie or TV show crossover.
Still some spoilers for people who aren't up to date.
I mean, okay. So I'll let you start off, Trist.
So basically, my issue with Walking Dead is I feel the comic book series is beyond better than the TV series.
Way better.
Like,
and I will
beyond.
say that. I will say that. And I read and I watch.
I don't watch because I watched
know.
and I didn't like.
I
so
told you, and
thought-
I was like, it's way better. Just stick with the comics.
Yeah.
It's so much better. And I want to go into that a little bit.
Go ahead.
There were so many things that they did wrong. I mean, I understand. Who wrote it?
Robert Kirkman.
Robert Kirkman. He said in an interview himself, he was like, I want the TV show and the comics to be completely separate because it will always be a surprise.
That's what I love.
I like it, but man, I hate him for that.
Aren't they old though?
They're
The
from
Walking Dead's
'94.
Been around
It started in '94.
Yeah, it picked up.
Yeah,
quick.
nobody realizes that. No one
And
realizes
same-
how old the
and
comics are.
Same
It's as
thing
old
with
as I am.
same thing with Game of
my
Thrones.
God.
It was
Yeah, it
books
makes you feel
before
old,
it was shows.
Yep.
And nobody read Game of Thrones the books until the show came out, and everybody's like, "Oh, I'm gonna spoil
Some
everything for
diehard
everybody."
fans did, but
Yeah, I mean, but anyway, so back to The Walking Dead.
2 words. Shane, season 1.
Oh
He was
my-
supposed to be gone.
Okay, we can talk
episode-
about this because everybody's seen this. Okay.
Yeah.
So Shane season 1.
Yeah. I read like half of the first volume, and after having watched the TV series, I'm kind of a little more.
Which one did you like more?
I like the TV series.
Really?
And you're gonna
They
hate
drug it on so long. He just
But-
needed his ass to die.
Yep.
He
But-
needed to get gunned down and just die already.
I think that's why you wanted, as a comic book reader, to keep watching it, because you wanted to see the MFer die.
I wanted to see him die. I really did.
And everyone else did too.
I mean, he died in the first graphic novel. Like the
Yeah.
very first, he was dead.
Yep.
Who
But-
shot him down? Carl.
Carl
killed him.
Carl killed him in the
Carl.
woods.
Carl killed him in the woods because he was protecting his dad.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's awesome. Like Carl's coming into being kind of a grown up.
Dude, I love Carl now as a character.
Carl's in the comics is a little better.
I'm not a fan of him in the show.
I like him in the show.
right
I think
now.
he's
In the show now, in the beginning, everyone is just like, Carl,
Carl.
go inside,
Get in
Carl.
the house, Carl.
Then no one wants Carl to be around because he's gonna ruin everything as a kid. But he starts, kind
Growing up and maturing.
and kicking butt.
I mean, I think he's a complete badass. I really do. But I always liked the badass characters in The Walking Dead. And there was,
Andrea.
like, Andrea in the comics was so much better.
Yep.
She, like, in the series, she was, like, mean. Like, she was
Not mean.
a B word, a female dog. Whereas in the comics, she was caring and, like, she did
was
what she
fierce,
had to
but
do.
Not a bee.
Like, she was like, I will kill anyone who tries to hurt any one of my friends. You know?
Now, that being said, I think the character of Michonne is
Nailed.
Nailed.
I mean, nailed
Nailed
on the
it.
head.
Nailed it. The like, I'm gonna split your head in two kind of girl.
She's like, don't mess with me.
Perfect.
Just like, I'm
Perfect.
doing my own thing, you guys do your own
Michonne,
thing.
Oh my gosh. She's so freaking awesome.
And there was a few more things, like events. I can't really go into them. There's just so many. But there was a lot more events that happened in the comics that just didn't happen.
And they were good.
And they were good.
They were good events.
Great events. I mean, there was... let me think of one at least. Whenever Tyrese saved... what's his name? Saved Rick. Whenever they went into that housing community, and they were looking around, kind of checking out the housing community, and I know what that housing community is from. Oh my God, I know all about it. If you've read the book The Governor, it tells the story of the governor. You would know a little more about it. But Tyrese, like, Rick is about to get tackled or attacked by a bunch of zombies, and Tyrese comes down the stairs flying and tackles him out of the way, and then saves him with a hammer and starts bashing heads in. I mean...
And even one more, the one where his daughter and her boyfriend like kill themselves.
Oh, they have like a suicide pact.
They have a
that
suicide
That was
pact.
weird.
It was really weird and kind of
They couldn't
sad,
have put that on
but
TV.
yeah, it would have been intense.
They put a lot of things on the TV. They didn't put up the governor's heads.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like at one of the episodes. Like it was at the very end of one of the episodes.
Oh, but it wasn't like as like
No, and then
in the comic book series, it's like a whole page spread, and
it's cool. It looks
and
awesome.
It looks awesome, and I
Were
feel
they
like
in
it
busted out TVs?
No, they
No,
were fish
they were
tanks.
fish
tanks.
Fish
Oh,
tanks.
that's right. I knew it was something other than.
And then he had his daughter chained up.
And the governor and Penny, that's his daughter's name.
Yep.
Their relationship is a weird one in the comics. Like he takes out her teeth and rips out her like claw, like her fingernails, and like it's weird.
Yeah.
It's I can't say it on this, but it's weird. I mean, it's weird. And then when he tortures Michonne, it's so much worse. And Michonne gets revenge.
Yep.
I'll say it. She lops one of his arms off, stabs him in the eye, like cuts his arteries on his legs. I mean,
Does he come back later in the comics?
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
Okay.
And he
He's
comes
not
back
happy.
with full force.
He's not happy.
He had a lot more anger in the comics.
If there's one character I just wanted to die more than anything
The
in
governor.
any series, is the governor.
And you know who I was really sad? I will say this. I was really sad. He wasn't in the comics, but I was really sad when Merle died.
Yeah.
Merle, dude, he was my favorite character. He was
Yeah.
such a badass. He did what had to be done. He didn't take no crap from nobody. He did his own thing. I thought that was cool, man. He was awesome. I liked him a lot.
And just because we got to meet him.
We went to the Comic-Con in Austin. He did a panel there, and he was saying that whenever it came for his time to die, he wanted to go out in a blaze of glory, and he made the writers rewrite the script 2 or 3 times to where they got the scene that they did, and he went out in a blaze of glory, and I loved every second of it. So,
He's practically the same character in real life.
I mean, really, he is though.
He
So, I want to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh,
Haven't seen it or read it, so.
Nope.
I won't spoil anything, I promise.
Okay.
this one's gonna be all on you because I've seen the movie and I haven't read it.
So, like you were saying about Chris Pratt, how you thought Chris Pratt
I really do.
embodies Star-Lord, he
I think-
doesn't. He really doesn't.
Okay,
turned
I guess
this-
you have more of an opinion than I
They
do.
turned this movie into more of a comic. Star-Lord in the series, he was a lot more like serious.
Really?
Like he was. I mean, he wasn't like Batman serious. Batman. He wasn't like Batman serious, but he was serious. Like he had troubled childhood. It was a lot worse. They went into a lot more in the comics. But it was good. I can't really say much just because y'all haven't seen it or read it really. But I like the comics more. But the movie was really good.
It was so good.
I'm gonna move on to Doc Fluff. What comic movie series did you like? Like comic to TV
Comic
series.
to TV. Of course, here recently they just re-released Sailor Moon. They kind of, what do you call it? Revamped.
Revamped it.
They revamped
It's good
it,
too.
and it's good. And I actually got you to watch it.
Yeah, I watched the first episode. Okay.
Yeah, and he's gonna watch the next 3 here.
They were good though. I mean, I will admit, I never liked Sailor Moon or anything like that, and I don't know if you or no.
My sister did.
Oh really?
Yeah,
wow,
she
I'm
watched
surprised,
it.
actually.
Oh,
You-
she's all into
You
that.
have no idea.
You have no
idea.
idea. She's got
Really?
like a giant Rubbermaid box full.
We call them her backwards comic books. We make fun of her all the time.
And now you're worse than her.
Well, not with the backwardsness, but
No, not with the.
but with the
So, but it was good. I mean, I can't really say much from it.
But so I've always loved Sailor Moon. Like even from this is gonna make you two feel old, but whenever I was watching it, going to like probably like elementary school, it was on in the early morning, and I found it again later as being older and starting to get into the anime scene, and God, it's so good. I think it's probably the first magical girl series, and that's literally like a magical girl, the girl who fights evil,
Yeah.
but looks all pretty and has like pretty powers and stuff.
Trist, do you remember her watching like early morning?
I do. I remember like some Christmases, that's all she wanted was Sailor Moon anything.
My mother is the best mother in the world and bought me all the seasons and all the movies on DVD for a Christmas present. And I've watched them all, 3 times through.
Yep.
And that's, not a small task. It's 200 episodes and 3 movies.
And they're all in Japanese.
And there's an option. There's a toggle switch.
And you went into Japanese,
yeah,
of course.
Her voice in the English is just god-awful.
But that's always, with animes, it's always better in the original language.
It reminds me of Kung Pao.
I was talking about that earlier today with my friend, and it was just he was like, have you seen this? I was like, yes, I have seen that movie. Yes, I have. So one more person to get around the table too. Comics to TV series. What would you what's your favorite one if you can say one? If there is any for you.
I don't really know. I mean, they've done
one that you would like to see.
Or one you would like to see. I can think of one.
Oh, yeah, Lock and Key would be a really good one.
Yeah,
although it would need to be on a station. It would need to be cable. It couldn't be a major network because of the violence in it. But
oh, really?
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Axe in the head,
really?
It would be.
I want to read it now.
Really?
Sex scenes, everything.
It would need to be.
It's good.
Wow.
It's good.
But it's only really kind of the first one, and then it just gets twisted.
Yeah.
It's more but it would be pretty cool. They really could do some cool stuff with
more of it.
With the
heads opening and getting inside of it.
And being miniature
What?
and all that. Yeah, dude, you gotta...
You have to.
All these different keys.
The well.
Yeah, and
God.
the being in it. And there's one that you put a key in the back of your neck and it opens up your head and you can take out individual memories. And
oh, my head tingles.
it's really, it's so many different things.
And it's something that I actually picked up. I went to Awesome Books and Comics and I was like, I'm looking for something different. He's like, he gave me 2.
And I'm into Fables.
Fables is another one I'd like to see, but that's beyond the point.
Nope. Oh, I'll get to that actually.
I will get to that.
Yeah.
But Lock and Key is so demented, but it's so good. It's so outside. So I read Lock and Key first, and then I felt comfortable with the demented, twisted stuff, so then I went to Walking Dead. Lock and Key is epic.
Really?
Epic. And if they just finished the series, I have
we had
all
the
of them.
first 5, and I was finally fine. And I flew through them all in a weekend, and then I was like, "Oh God, I have to wait a year."
We actually
the
have
last one.
them signed too.
A couple of them, yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, into the famous
On my reading list.
Yeah, we have many reading lists now. Very long reading lists.
This is what happens when you put 2 groups of nerds together.
So, into the Fables thing.
Okay.
The Wolf Among Us. That
game.
is The Wolf Among Us by Telltale Games.
Yes. Who also did the Walking Dead game.
Oh, that game is so good. We'll talk a little bit about that too. I haven't played The Wolf Among Us, but people are going crazy. Telltale is a really, really good... They're doing really good right now with the whole comic to game. They're actually doing a Game of Thrones one.
I heard.
Which I will be playing. Yes, I will be playing that.
I'll be watching you.
So, you've read Fables. How
Yes.
does I know you've played a little bit of Wolf Among Us.
Yep.
How does it compare to Fable?
It's pretty interesting. I think when it comes to the graphic settings, on point.
It's definitely a comic.
It's
Telltale
definitely-
does that well.
The graphics, I have nothing bad to say. When it comes to the characters as a whole, I think they did really good with Big B and stuff like that. I think it was really well done. I like the choose your
And Big B
option.
is the
Big Bad Wolf.
wolf.
The wolf.
Okay, so the sheriff type
Yes.
guy. Okay.
Yeah. Him being the character that he is in the books is very accurate. I actually met one of the people from Fables at Awesome Books and Comics.
Really? That's awesome.
One of the animators, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Or the writer.
Or
I can't
whatever
remember.
not animator,
illustrator.
but
That's
illustrator,
cool,
yeah.
man.
And he was really, really nice, and he's really, really proud of it. And I think I got it way before it became popular as it is now.
And
but
it looks
I love
like
it.
the art
Gajillion
looks
of 'em.
beautiful in Fables. And from
You could tell in the early Fables they had different people, and then it changed, but it's
mellowed
definitely
out.
good. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean that's great. And so I've played the Walking Dead video game.
Yes.
And Doc Fluff has watched me when we lived together. She watched me a little bit.
Yeah, I watched him play, and I liked to watch it.
So
it was very interesting.
it really is like a TV
Storyline.
show. I mean, it is.
I love the choices.
Yeah, the choices are awesome. I think they're... I hated it because I would if I was I feel like that's wrong, I have to start over. I would go back and be like, no, I can't do this time.
It's the replay value.
Yeah, it really is, though. But the Walking Dead video game has nothing to do with the Walking Dead comics or show. It is a complete separate story of survivors. Mm-hmm. They meet up with the couple. They meet up with Herschel, and they meet up with Glenn, and that's all I remember. I only played the first season. They're on their second season, going to their third, I think. But man, the choices, it really made you feel like you were in The Walking Dead. I mean, it was like,
and it really felt like it affected.
Do you want to kill this person with this person right next to him? And it's just like, oh God, I don't know what to do.
Yep.
Because you don't know how it'll affect you later on down the line.
And it does.
It
comes back to bite you.
Oh yeah, it does. But it was good. So I'm glad that they're doing comics to video games.
Yep, because they've been done horribly.
Oh, horribly. Yeah.
Horribly. I have a Xbox 360 Superman Man of Steel. I kept the CD because the artwork on the CD was epic.
But the game was
Never
trash.
played the game, but 20 minutes and I was done.
Really?
Yep. It was trash.
So, I wanted to get into this a little bit. We now that we have everyone here, I wanted to get everyone into board game discussion.
Okay.
I want to know what everyone's favorite board game is. We'll kind of go around the table, why you like it, what your favorite type of board game is, what your favorite type of strategy is. I mean, anything like that. I could name Stitches right off the bat, I bet you.
I think we all can. Yeah.
So, we'll start with Trist.
Okay.
So, favorite board game.
I have a bunch of favorite board games. I have some that take me back to when I was younger. I have some that take me back to, being an adult and loving to play. Yeah. So, as a kid, me and Doc Fluff used to play categories all the time. So that was probably a big one.
Recently.
Yeah.
Recently being within the last 5 years.
Yeah. But I think since we've actually gotten into the game buying type stuff, the designer games,
knowing that it's an actual thing and more than just life and trouble and all that stuff.
I honestly would probably say if I'm doing tabletop and not card games, I would say Descent.
You love Descent.
I love
it's
Descent.
Fun. It is a lot of fun. Don't play at 2 o'clock in the morning, though. People start getting at each other's throats, and it's bad. It's you can't do that. No, you can't do that. It's really bad. So cut it off about 1 a.m.
Yeah.
We learned our lesson.
It tears apart family.
It's like Monopoly.
Yeah.
So Descent, I mean,
Descent's a good one for that.
By,
huh?
By whom?
Oh, Fantasy Flight.
Fantasy Flight. Oh, Fantasy Flight will probably be around the table. Maybe.
Yeah, it's one of those games that I absolutely love when it comes to the RPG stuff. I just think that it's done so well. Now, if you're coming off for not RPG stuff, Nothing Personal.
Oh, Nothing Personal is
that
so
is
good.
So good.
It's a very you're at each other's throats, but it's strategy. And you're backstabbing each other. And
but it's nothing personal.
But it's nothing personal.
It was a Kickstarter, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was actually made by
the guys who did Dice Tower.
The guys who do the Dice Tower, Mr. Tom Vassell. And I forget the designer, the graphic artist. And I did this last time too, and I know I did, and I feel so bad. I'll get it next time. So Doc Fluff.
So Trist said, without being the little kid games, my first favorite little kid game was Life. I love that one. I've probably already said that. It was so much fun because I'd always win.
Whatever.
But other than that, my favorite I'd have to say is the Arkham Horror or the Eldritch Horror.
Eldritch.
That is really good.
And who's that by? Do you know? Fantasy Flight.
Fantasy Flight. That's what I said. Yeah, I really like the co-op games because when it's just myself, I get beat to a pulp.
Yeah.
But when we're on a team, it's an effort.
You all get beat to a pulp together.
Yeah.
Cthulhu just smacks you with one of his tentacles, and
we just iron over those guys together.
So, Stitch?
So everybody pretty much could pick mine out. If you've seen any of the videos in the recent birthday gift that I got from Titan Doc Fluff, the Ticket to Ride 10th anniversary edition actually is pretty epic.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that one's great, but you need minimum 3 really for it to work really well, and we don't always have that many. So, I do really enjoy Fantasy Flight type games. Now, we picked up a couple we didn't really care for, but kind of anything that goes in that Cthulhu kind of type mythos.
That's always the best.
Elder Sign is great. It's not really board, it's...
Card. Elder Sign is card.
Well, it's dice. And cards.
It's card, yeah.
I like that one a lot. Almost a quicker one. But I feel like after this amount of time I've gotten a feel for the rules. They're all fairly similar from Fantasy Flight.
Like Fantasy Flight always carries over. I mean, really, they do.
So, thank goodness, because the first one that I read for Arkham Horror darn near killed me. I had to go in the bedroom with the door shut, no dogs, silence, looking up on my phone different terms to try to understand it. And now that we do, we totally get it. But I really do love Descent. It's honestly one of my favorite. Every time I go to the comic book store down the street, the game store.
It beats Ticket to Ride?
Oh, but they're totally different. It's you can play with only 2 people.
Yep.
And that's so when it's just us.
Yeah.
Then we can play that. So Ticket to Ride, I absolutely love when there's several of us to play. Yeah. I would play it daily, but Descent really in that kind of more nerdy, like for real
want to put
tabletop.
The concentration.
Yes. And every time I go to the game store,
I know you're always like, hold on.
I always go.
I have to look. I
do. I go and I look and I drool over the expansion pack, the expansions that come with it. So
for me, I didn't really play board games as a kid. My family wasn't really like that. I mean, I don't know. We just never did that type of thing. I'm kind of a little upset about it, but whatever. I'm a little butthurt.
You made up for it in adulthood.
I really did, though. And so I mean, I remember playing Monopoly with my friends and doing that kind of thing. And it's just like Monopoly. I never liked. So
I've never finished a game of Monopoly.
Neither have I. It gives you a headache.
Because people don't play by the instructions that were given. Even Monopoly put something out and says you're playing Monopoly all wrong, guys.
Yeah. So, but
really? Yeah.
I do love all games. It's very hard for me to pinpoint. I mean, you say a game, I'll be like, sure, I'll play it, whatever. I love all the games. I know I saw that look in your eye. What was it? Dungeons and Dragons. I'm a little hesitant, but I was hesitant about World of Warcraft, and now I love it.
Okay,
Isn't it like a paperback, like thick book?
No, it's like WoW, but on paper.
Okay, let's have a heart to heart.
Hold on, wait. Can I finish my
heart to heart? Go ahead.
My game? So honestly, I go through phases with games.
Yeah, and in real life.
I don't know. Right now, I'm enjoying Marvel Dice Masters.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I am. Right now, Marvel Dice Masters is the game that I love, but I'd have to say the most fun that I've gotten out of a game is Nothing Personal. I mean, it is so much fun, and I get mad when I play that game. I'm like,
yeah, we all get pissed.
I mean, that's crap, you know?
You want to be the capo, but you don't want to be the capo.
But you really, you can't take it personal. Because then you'll just be like, oh, well, I'm going to do this to you, and then you're just going to get screwed over later. So, Nothing Personal, what I'd say, next to Marvel Dice Masters. So, let's have our heart-to-heart here.
About Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
What is your hesitantness?
I saw you play Roll20 for 4 hours one day.
I was playing Pathfinder.
It's the same thing.
I agree.
For 4 hours. And people were just standing there talking. Doing nothing.
I think you're more of a tactile person. You like to have things in front of you.
I do.
So I think that's where it would be issues. But I think you like the role-playing part of it to where I think that you would really, really like it. But I don't know if it would hold your attention for long periods. You would have to do short ones.
If we're going to play this game, I want all of us to play and we all, walk in the room dressed as, knights and, stuff like that, have staves and swords.
Oh, what a sword!
And it's just,
Sword.
Swords. And we all, talk in medieval accents and...
Can I have a beard?
Yes, you can have a beard.
Yeah.
It'll be the beard...
I'll crochet you one.
Yeah!
But, if I want to do it, I want to go all out. I want to be in that world. I want to
So you want to LARP?
yes and no. I would love to LARP. I mean, really.
I would too. I looked it up for Austin. There's Austin LARPing.
I mean,
obviously.
I mean, but that's what I want. I want to be my character. I want to be like talk to like you, like you're your character.
That's why I think that you would like it if you would just give it a chance.
I'll give it a chance. I'll sure. Why not? You
have the starter kit.
So I'll give it a chance.
And we have the board game though, which
it's not the same.
I never opened and played.
Okay, so the thing with
I got WizWar. I never opened and played.
So here's the thing with the Dungeons and Dragons game. When you come from Dungeons and Dragons, the real stuff,
the RPG
to the board game,
it's
not Fantasy Flight, it feels a little cheap.
Who did it? Wizards of the Coast?
Yes,
yeah, I think it is Wizards of the Coast. It's on the other side, the left side. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's Wizards of the Coast.
Something like that. But I just feel
Wizards is magic.
I don't know. We're gonna get an update. So,
Update.
But anyways, go on.
I just feel like it wasn't. I'm so used to
D&D Adventure System cooperative game.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, it doesn't even say. Not crucial.
It's not very crucial. You can come back to the table now.
I just feel like it didn't translate as well. Like when I looked at the board and I looked at the characters,
felt it and you just.
I don't know. I like D&D, and I think that's something that we all need to try together and be like 100% try, just like we have.
We need to do it like in the afternoon, or else Doc Fluff is just going to be a zombie.
I'll just be taking a nap during the whole thing.
So, I feel like these were all really great discussions, but I think we're going to have to wrap it up right now. We will be back recording next Tuesday. The podcast will be out next Thursday. Right?
Yep.
I got that right? Okay.
Yeah, this podcast is coming out on Thursday.
This
You're listening to it.
This week, there's Thursday.
We're coming to you from the past.
No. So, but I want to say thank you from all of us. Thank you so much for taking the time to even just come and listen to this. It really does mean a lot. And thank you for people who subscribe, who just come and watch any of our videos. It's a great experience.
Even if you fast forward through all of them.
It's okay.
It's okay.
But
I still love you.
We do. It's a great experience, and we're glad that we can share this journey with all of you. And it's a great experience. So we will be signing off. We will geek you later.
Bye.
Deuces. You have to say something.
You have to say something.
Adios.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, we're good.